So when we started to first look around for what our options may be, our primary reason for actually looking at guest satisfaction and some of the other folks in the space was that we needed a kind of a tip of the arrow to help move along cultural change within the company. So I can talk a little bit more about that. The second piece was that our company and our product is really driven by word of mouth. So throughout the course of the history of our product, we've been pretty inefficient about actually operationalizing the idea of word of mouth. Our customers tell us 60+% of them that they buy our product because they've seen somebody else using it. Yet we've done nothing really to empower that. And in fact, we had our primary access point for interaction with our customers was one of those old archaic kind of lockdown forums. So when we had an opportunity to take a look across the industry to really first provide us with an asset that we could start to drive cultural change within the company and also fulfill our need to help our customers communicate better with each other, guest satisfaction was a pretty logical choice for us. We had a pretty big challenge in that there was a lack of confidence to actually just be a first responder or have a conversation or participatory conversation out in the community, whether it be one that we owned or elsewhere. And no matter how much reinforcement we had within the company, if this is what we'd actually like you to do, we'd like from a practice perspective for you to go out and respond on Twitter or wherever, it just wasn't happening. A big part of that is because there was a fairly substantial community that existed that was behind lock and key. And so there was a level of comfort on kind of going through a chain of command to get approval for a response before a response would go up that was just kind of in the company. It was the way that the machine worked. So guest satisfaction for us was really the first step in trying to break that whole system apart. And it's interesting to talk about guest satisfaction really as a cultural change agent for us. It was definitely a big part of it. We had a desire to, but we really didn't have the tip of the arrow to introduce into the company to say, here's a new way that we're going to interact with our customers. And by the way, if you don't have an opportunity to talk to a customer, this is one of the best ways you can do it. And quite honestly, it was purely the rollout of guest satisfaction that started to change culturally the way that we responded to our customers. So we had almost zero participation across the globe for our community within the company on social networks. And that's a very trite comment. Like, you don't necessarily want everybody in your company out in social networks, but we had zero. Just the introduction of the community where everybody had a push communication from comments that would take place in the community to a first responder kind of agreement within the company that started to make people within the company feel more comfortable. Now we've got really active participation in our development organization, which historically never talked to our customers outside of through product management. Our marketing team is super active in it, and our support organization has been wholly transformed by it. They are no longer dependent upon a one-to-one relationship between somebody asking a question and a single person responding to it. We now actually have participation from our community. We've got a group of about 70 advocates that will introduce themselves into questions, answer on behalf of us even before we get there, and we're pretty quick about it now too. The product's pretty darn easy to use, and that's I think a critical component for us from an adoption perspective. And so it just kind of took hold, and I dare say it's viral. It's not really viral, but the kind of the word of mouth nature of the way that the product operates makes it really easy for companies that aren't accustomed to communicating directly with customers to do so.